The asbestos issue is not a thing of the past. It continues to this day.
We want to end this man-made disaster.
So let's ban asbestos.
Hi, my name is Ellen Patton. For those of you that don't know me, I'm going to give you a condensed version of my situation and also explain to you why I feel that it's my duty to speak up and speak out. At the age of 40 and countless years of an unhappy marriage, I made the decision to better my life, and I made the necessary changes. Those changes were difficult, however, they were necessary. I moved from the state of Georgia to my home state of Maryland. I found a great job. I made a new life for myself, new friends, and I had a second chance for a long and happy life. Shortly after turning 41 on June 1st, 2001, my second chance was stolen from me by mesothelioma. Like many people, I had only heard of mesothelioma on the TV commercials and for the local law firms. However, that was normally the time I would get up to take my dogs out or to get a snack or to make a phone call. When the doctors from Johns Hopkins University told me the news that day on June 1st, the first question I asked was, is it cancer? Assuming that I knew the answer. However, I was surprised by their answer when they said, yes, it was. My next question was, how do you spell it? The days following were a blur. My family rallied. We researched mesothelioma and found out the cause of mesothelioma was exposure to asbestos. What shocked us was the number of construction products and consumer goods that were made of asbestos. How and why I got meso were questions that I needed in the future. However, now I was determined to fight the disease. This is my family. I was then referred to the oncologist department of Johns Hopkins. Thinking back on that day, I feel sorry for the oncologist. I have a rather large and very close family. You can imagine what the oncologist thought when I walked into the examination room, followed by 10 of my family members. Keep in mind, this was 13 years ago. The possibility of long-term survival and even the chance of a future cure was not even discussed when mesothelioma was talked about. I left that appointment feeling sick. I had been told I needed to get my affairs in order and enjoy the little time that I had left. After a week of bouncing between feeling hopeless and feeling invincible, I contacted the oncologist and I told her that I was ready to fight. I'll never forget the words that came out of her mouth when she said, "You can fight it, however, I've never known anyone to beat it." I believe that that was the day that I tossed the self-pity out and I realized that I had something I needed to do. I was determined to find a doctor or a treatment that gave me some hope. As long as there's hope, there's possibility. I'm realistic, and I understood that there were no guarantees. However, I was going to look until I felt that I had not left any stones unturned. My search took me to Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston. I was considering the surgery in Boston. However, Dr. Sugarbaker discovered that the cancer was bilateral and on my diaphragm. I was no longer eligible for that surgery. He referred me to a local oncologist in Maryland, and they had decided to give me chemotherapy of Gemzar and cisplatin. I had 2 treatments, and it made me so ill that I decided to quit the chemotherapy and enjoy the little time that I had left. I felt like I had run into another brick wall. Last hope was to investigate alternative treatment. What I did, I felt was necessary. What did I have to lose? They offered an immune therapy that made sense to me. I learned of a man that had lived 18 years with meso after receiving treatment in the Bahamas. That was the first time I had ever heard of a long-term survival. My obstacle was money and the fact that insurance didn't cover the treatment. Again, my family rallied and raised enough money for me to receive the treatment and continue it for several years. I believe that the treatment is only one component to what contributes to me still being here. I know that my strong faith in God, I know that the prayers that go up to heaven from my family and friends, and combination of alternative treatment and traditional treatment is what has kept me alive today. I have to admit, I do still ask myself the whys. Why did Penny have to leave her first granddaughter just days after she was born? Why did Janelle and Debbie have to die so young? Why did Linda and Marilyn lose the loves of their lives? Why did Jordan and the world lose a father, a grandfather, and a talented artist? Why? I know I'll never have the answers to these questions. However, one thing that I know is what I'm supposed to be doing as long as I'm here on this earth. That is to join ADAO and all of you in spreading the word that mesothelioma is an entirely preventable disease and asbestos must be banned. As a group, we are reaching out to lawmakers and our community leaders in creative and effective ways. I, along with my sister-in-law, Sarah, have turned a hobby soap-making business and bath product into a business that donates 10% of all sales to ADAO. We also have the opportunity to spread the word to ban asbestos. We sell this on the internet as well as at festivals, which allows us the opportunity to speak to our community about mesothelioma and about banning asbestos. Linda and ADAO are in constant contact with lawmakers in Washington and around the world. I was honored to be able to tell my story at the ADAO Congressional Staff Briefing just this past November. Other examples of ways that we have spoken out is, one, the blogs that Mavis in England writes, or Lou in Australia, the 5K, the auctions, and the concerts that Michael and his family put on, the media interviews, and the annual lung leaving day that's given by Heather and Cameron, the motorcycle rides that are organized by Jill and the Cagle family. In closing, I will encourage everyone to continue to speak up and speak out. I know that one day asbestos will be banned. Thank you.